Benedictus de Spinoza, born Baruch ben Michael, was a 17th century philosopher. He studied to be a rabbi, making himself familiar with Christian theology. He was later ostracized by his fellow Jews for his heretical beliefs. Gottfried Wilhelm von Leibniz also studied philosophy at the same time as Spinoza. He has been called the last of the universal geniuses. Some of his biggest contributions include calculus and modern formal linguistics. In his book Ethics, Spinoza says, "By substance, I mean that which is in itself and is conceived through itself. In other words, that of which a conception can be formed independently of any other conception." What Spinoza means to say is that God is the only substance. God is eternal and self-caused. Because of this view, we can classify Spinoza as a monist. A monist holds the view in metaphysics that reality is a unified whole and that all existing things can be ascribed to or described by a single concept or system. Leibniz agrees that there are many substances. For this reason, we will consider Leibniz a pluralist. Leibniz calls the many substances monads. A monad is nothing else than a simple substance. Together, monads make composites. Because we can go dividing physical objects infinitely, we have to define monads more clearly. Leibniz concludes that monads are immaterial and have no extension into space. Let's imagine that we take two elements, such as hydrogen and oxygen. We combine them to make water. In this example, the elements act as monads. Spinoza quickly establishes that substance must be existent, self-caused, and unlimited. From this he proves that there cannot be two substances with the same attribute, since each would limit the other. He also believes that whatever exists, exists eternally. There is no creation or creator. You might ask yourself, what about God? Spinoza would say God has no existence independent of the universe. Therefore, God can't be the creator. The universe and God are one and the same. Leibniz felt that there is a reason for everything. Our universe is alive, and everything happens for a purpose. The universe has to be alive in order for an effect to have a cause. God has a reason for everything, and we are living in the best possible world. We know that we live in the best possible world because God has given us arrested development to watch and enjoy. Leibniz also mentions that our perceptions change with each monad to create a moving and changing appearance. He uses the example that a squirrel climbing a tree is only our perception, but our view of the squirrel is matched by the squirrel's view of us. This exemplifies what Leibniz calls pre-established harmony. This guarantees that all views from all perspectives are in agreement. Because we live in the best possible world, everything in turn is for humanity's well-being. Similarly to Leibniz, Spinoza felt that none of our actions are free. Everything has its cause and effect as the universe has extended back infinitely and will move forward infinitely. This helps to shape the paradox that our only freedom is the realization that we are not free. Leibniz and Spinoza would agree with our pre-programmed realities. They arrive at this with very different axiomatic beliefs. Spinoza's view of humanity is anti-individual. Each individual is submerged in one substance, God. Leibniz felt that each individual was a world into him or herself, but that everything exists in conjunction with each other through many substances.